January 1st, 2023, I was sick of myself and decided I'm gonna spend the next year giving up 12 of my filthiest, dirtiest, most embarrassing, soul-sucking habits. Here's what happened. Starting off with number 1, January Diet Pop.
I'm not anti-diet pop, but I literally could not go a day without one. And by one, I mean at least one, because your girl could easily crush 3 to 5 cans in a day.
Good night in Toronto and attempts in the morning again. It's been a long day and all I wanted is a Diet Coke. Just that fizz.
Step number 1 to giving it up, cold turkey. And it was miserable.
Finally made it.
Really hurting me. 'Cause every time.
And like every classic giving up a bad habit video, the first few days are the hardest. Just that good caffeine and fizz. Ugh. You're feeling down and you just want that little easy hit of happiness. I miss it.
Ow.
Step number 2, we swapped for gut-healthy carbonated beverages and sparkling water to much success.
Have been really simple. The craving and habit loop is just not there anymore. Over the last couple of years, I've really developed some healthy habits. You've seen these videos I've made, but I just started to realize, as much as I love putting on new habits, there was some that were just holding me back. I painted this ideal version of myself. And as much as I would add more of the things she did, there was this stuff a previous me just could not let go of, and I was sick of it. So I mapped out a plan. Every month for the next year, I would give up one of these dirty habits.
I'm no habit professor, but I have probably read every single habit building book your Audible has recommended. Most tips I got were from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 of his tips that worked the absolute best for me. Tactic number 1, list the daily habits to maintain awareness of what I'm actually doing. I tried many. Checking off on a calendar, 2, using the 75 Hard app, 3, writing on my iPad, and about 10,000 to the squared root of 65 pi different apps. Eventually setting on a simple app called Habit. This is not a brand deal for them. It just was pretty.
Now to conquer the beast of my habits, Monster.
Okay, this isn't good. Do not come at me. I'm admitting this is a bad habit. I'm not proud of myself. How many monsters did you have a day, Kelty? 1 every single day. Oh, that's not too bad. 1 is like the bare minimum. I could easily have 2. And if I was drinking, the limit does not exist. And I thought this would be absolute hell to give up. But shockingly, this one might have been the easiest to give up. Reason being, electrolytes.
I used to have this around 2 p.m. nauseous feeling, and I used to not really know what it was. All I know is when I first gave up energy drinks, it kind of sucked. But I noticed if I just had a element package, so electrolyte package in the morning, I feel even better than having that energy drink.
I drank enough coffee that I didn't need the caffeine. The flavors of the electrolytes gave me that satisfaction from the taste of a Monster I craved, and the salt gave me nutrients my body actually needs, and my newfound LaCroix habit gave me the carbonation. So just like that, month 2 was shockingly easy. If only the rest of the year was that simple.
Let's open my work fridge. What do we find here? Chocolate. Because that's my thing. 1:30 right now, and I have that midday slump. I just want a little. It's not even like an energy jet. I'm just a dopamine fiend. I just want a little. So I get a chocolate. It's usually around here. Sometimes in the mornings to get me out the door. Usually after work, it's a little good job for work. I'm just constantly like a dog rewarding myself with chocolate, which I've never really thought anything too bad. I'm like, yeah, just a little bit of chocolate, maybe a bar a day, sometimes 2. It's not the end of the world. Until recently I heard like there's children working in very negative work environments to get us this chocolate. You know, chocolate's so cheap to us. It's just like $1 here. It's like nothing to us, but like that's all they make in a day. It's like $1. It's like they're not getting paid living wages, and it's inhumane work environments. And then I'm just like half-heartedly being like, oh, I'll have half here, have this. I'm going cold turkey, but the one thing your body can be craving when you're craving chocolate, and it can be omegas, it can be glutamine, it can be iron. So I'm making this concoction, knowing future Kelty will crave something. I got some ethically sourced organic cocoa, just pure cocoa powder, and glutamine, and I've done this before. I'm just gonna make like a hot chocolate. We had some honey, some maple syrup, and we're gonna make an ethically sourced hot cocoa. And it's one day and I'm already over this. Ugh. It's 6 a.m. I'm walking to the gym. And I woke up just feeling like, ugh. But I just need something. I don't need a meal. I'm not really hungry. I just want a little oomph. So I'll grab a piece of chocolate or two. Yeah. 5:30 a.m. with my coffee. But it just gets me like enough, a little sugar high to get to the gym. And the hard thing about living in a city is every single thing I walk by is a convenience store. And I could easily pop in $1 Dairy Milk, $1 Reese Cup. They're just like right there, right there. Day 4 is hard.
Great tip from James Clear is recognizing what triggers a bad habit and avoiding that trigger. This makes me analyze the environment I'm living in, and about every 3 months I declutter my apartment and office and really think, how can I set it up so it's easy to do the good habits and hard to do the bad ones?
It's day 5 and no chocolate, and it's so much easier today than yesterday. I just discovered something amazing. Reese's Pieces aren't actually chocolate. So I'm gonna have some of these. Oh, I'm so pumped. Tomorrow will be day 30, so I'm trying to find the most ethical chocolates available. The first week is the hardest, and then honestly the habit's kind of broken. After about 2 weeks, didn't cross my mind in the morning to have chocolate or on my walk home to have chocolate. Like I still find myself kind of like craving things, but I will say the biggest thing that helped, that specific chocolate craving, upping my magnesium and glutamine and making sure I have my omega-3 every day, salmon a couple more times a week. I just be more mindful of doing that. I found I didn't physically crave it. That being said, I don't want to live a life without chocolate. So we're gonna have my first piece of chocolate. I found these are the most easily accessible ethical brands I could find. There's Theo's, Endangered Species, and Alter Ego. Oh my God, first time, I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. Let's go, let's go. I missed you.
Tactic 2, create a contract. Make the cost of your bad habits public and painful, or make it unsatisfying. aka me making it public right now by making this video. Remember, that's just one tactic. If that sounds like anxiety, skip this tactic and try a different one. Another less humiliating way to do that is join forces with somebody to keep each other accountable.
This month's habit might be my grossest one. Gum. We all chew gum, fresh breath. It's not that big of a deal. The 60 pack, I easily go through 2 of these a day. Because one of my biggest problems, I developed this really weird stress coping mechanism a literal decade ago. When I'm stressed, having a little piece of gum, a little dopamine hit. Oh, that's kind of cute. That's not that bad. Except when I'm stressed, it's not one piece. It's like, when I'm stressed, I grab like 6 pieces and put them in my mouth. And this isn't a rare occurrence. It all started in high school when I was a sophomore and I had a crush on this senior. He had a severe peanut butter allergy. And I made my own lunches. And every single day of high school, I ate either a peanut butter and honey or peanut butter and jelly sandwich because it's all I knew how to make. I was paranoid he would smell the peanut butter on my breath and not want to hang out with me. I'd eat my peanut butter sandwich the class before lunch because I go see him at lunch. And then I would chew gum to get rid of the peanut butter smell. And then I got kind of paranoid about the peanut butter on my breath. Around that same time, it was leading into the most mentally exhausting time of my life with, parents' divorce, financial issues, a lot of dark stuff. I can look back now, this gum is this little like stress reliever cleanser, and I've tried to give it up so many times, and I can't. I'm not doing this on cold turkey. Week 1, I can chew as much gum as I want, but the rule is I can only chew 2 pieces at a time. I'm slowly gonna lower this down until maybe one day I'm at just a couple pieces a day. Or I might just have to cut out cold turkey then. We'll find out. So I'm allowed Diet Pop again, and I've moderately had it. I think I've had like 2. So far, it's just been a nice treat. 3 weeks into the gum update, this has just honestly been a fail. This month has been a scratch off. I got back to drinking energy drinks. My rule was to only have like 2 pieces of gum at a time. Definitely don't. I've gotten into just scaling back down to 1 energy drink and then having carbonated water. And one of you guys gave me this hack. Awesome. I've been adding Element, so electrolytes to my sparkling water. And gum, I'm just, I
have these crazy talks in my head. I'm like, I know I have this video and I'm supposed to give up 12 things, and everything else has been pretty easy. This, like, it's been a habit for so long, but I am proud of myself that I'm limiting myself. I know this is gonna sound crazy. I'm so embarrassed that I'm saying this on the internet. I've limited myself to 2 packs a day, and I never buy more than that. So I guess for 3 weeks, that's kinda a win. You know what could be a solution? This is me putting it off, but changing location helps a lot, I find. And obviously, not many people get the freedom to just move cities, move countries all the time. But every time I've moved to a new city, it's like this reset. You don't have any routines and you can get over habits so much easier. And we're going back to Canada in a week and a half. That could be the solution. And I'm just gonna be more mindful of it this time. Going into month 5, I hadn't conquered chewing gum, so it carried over. Therefore, I'd be trying 2 habits at one time: gum and fast food dopamine. Now I can't give up dopamine, but I did my 1-week dopamine detox video. For this month, my goal was to reduce my fast food dopamine, online shopping, social media scrolling, energy drinks, etc. I was only allowed online shopping 1 time a week, social media an hour after work, no energy drinks, no diet pop, and yes, attempt, no gum.
Keeping track, and guess how much money I saved this week just not buying impulse purchases. I saved $120 this week. That adds up so fast.
I'm feeling more balanced. My energy dips in the middle of the day aren't there as much. 3, you're just kind of craving things that you know are better for you. Always just feels a bit better when you put your head on the pillow at the end of the night. Habit 6, popping pimples. Honestly, this was a total fail. The rest of the summer, I fell off. And at the time, I felt like a complete failure. But looking back at the time, I had this craving for rejuvenation. And I remember really focusing on my sleep, night routine, allowing space for creativity, prioritizing social time. And even though July and August were a wash, they filled up my cup. And they were actually what set the foundation for me to have the mindset shift that was the beginning of my 75 hard journey. So something pretty cool has happened this week. You know how my goal the last month has just been to only allow myself the 2 packs of gum a day. I've gone a lot of days and not finished it. Like at the end of the day, I'm like, there's pieces left over. So I'm trying to get back to only 2 at a time, but you know what? Progress.
I'm just listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast and just had an aha moment about gum.
She's talking about her nicotine, like vaping addiction. She used to suck her thumb and the ear of her stuffed animal.
And that made me remember I had a blanket that my grandma sewed me that I used to suck, and I'd sleep with it, and it was like my comfort thing. And so it makes sense that gum is that same like safety net for me. It's like when I'm nervous, pop it, like that fixation you have. So that's really eye-opening of why it's so hard. It's because I've been doing it since I was literally born.
After 6 months of using my willpower, I was exhausted. So I thought of this perfect hack to clean up my dirty habits.
I'm cured. Dirty habits over. Peace.
Okay, jokes aside, freshening up my home and work actually is the game changer for creating new habits. One actual tip for breaking a habit is changing your environment. And certain things in my environment, aka my apartment, can be triggers for me. It's like in my bathroom, I turn off the lights so I can't see my pimples as much. And I know when my apartment's set up so it's easy to do the good habits, like having my cleaning products on my counter because they look pretty, which reminds me to clean my kitchen. And my current pretty effective cleaning product is Blueland. Because they're effective, convenient, and sourced from clean ingredients, uses no single-use plastic, EPA Safe for Choice certified. And it helps me save money. It only takes a nickel-sized tablet to clean my house. And super easy. Step 1, fill. 2, drop. 3, use. And for me, I don't have to hide under my sink and never see, so I never use because it's pretty and sits right on my counter. Of course, I got a code for y'all. Click my link below to get 15% off your first kit. Thank you, Blueland, for sponsoring this video. Tactic number 3, visualize yourself succeeding. Identity shift. Easier said than done. But I do find if you can link your identity to a habit you want to build or break, it has the longest lasting success. Someone who identifies as an athlete struggles less to get to the gym. Simply by making the habit a part of your ethos, it becomes your default. Okay, it is September 14th. I'm about halfway through the year. Over halfway, wow. And I've fallen off. Diet Pop is stuck. Like I'm down to just like, I'll just have the occasional one, maybe once a week. I'm just annoyed with myself. So I don't know if you'll see, I'm doing a 75 hard. You might have already seen it come out. I don't know the order I'm posting these. I'm trying to be better. Like I think I just had this magical thing that every month I would give up one and it would be perfect and flawless and all fall into place. And that's not life. You're supposed to sabotage your life in summer, so you're excited to have routine and health in fall. I want to get back to just having high quality, sustainable chocolate. I'm going to start with I never gave up gum. 2 packs a day. Getting enough sleep. Yeah, I'm back on energy drinks. No energy drinks. Oh, I almost don't even want to say it. I need to stop. And no skin picking. So I'm doing 30 days to get glass skin, which video you've seen by the time this is out. So hopefully I did it. Here's day number 1 of my skin. This is embarrassing right here. I picked till I broke blood vessels. I don't think I've ever done that. Like, I've just hit my breaking point. This time, instead of relying on willpower and facing my demons head to head, I focused on filling my cup up. So I wasn't so drained that I reverted to more negative coping mechanisms, aka my bad habits, like slowing down, enjoying my skincare routine. So it felt luxurious, not like a chore of self-maintenance.
Dare I say it's giving glass a little? A little?
And the best part about 75 hard is it made me focus on my sleep, which was actually supposed to be my 9th habit. Now, as much as I realize the importance of sleep and preach it on this channel, I have a confession. I hate it. Why? It's boring. And it's usually the first thing I sacrifice for anything else in my life. So this month, I wanted to prioritize at least laying in my bed for 8 hours a night, regardless of how much I slept.
It's 9:20. I'm in bed. I never get into bed at this time. It's day 3. Been in bed between 9 and 9:45 every day this week, and that's insane. And I feel so good.
I wasn't perfect. But I slowly, week by week, started to fine-tune my night routine so I actually was craving my bed, because simply crawling into bed is half the battle for me. Habit number 10, not paying off my debt and impulse shopping. So yeah, about this one. You know when you make those goals at the beginning of the year and they're vague, so you never actually execute them? That was this one for me. Full transparency, I have some debt and it stresses me the F out. And my goal was to pay it off, not carry a credit card balance, and just be financially healthy. And well, I kinda did. I mean, this month I consolidated my debt into one spot and made sure not to carry a credit card balance. My debt's in other places. So at least I made progress here, and this I'm hoping to prioritize more in 2024 and bring you all along with me in my new series. I suck at finances. I'm not good at it. I'm trying to get better and paying for and dealing with, but we're getting through. And I'll talk about that in a big challenge I have in 2024. So if you're worried about finances and you're not financial girly, let's deal with it together. Habit 10 was people pleasing and 11 social media doom scrolling, and I was at a crossroads. I knew if I wanted to maintain the previous 8, taking on these extra 2 would be tough. So I decided to simplify the 2 with this amazing iPhone hack, focus mode. Hear me out. You've all probably seen the do not disturb, work, personal mode, etc. modes, which is cool, but I learned you can take that one step further and set it up like there's 4 different phones. So I had my morning routine, 5 to 9 a.m., where there's no messages, emails, social medias, just Notion, writing, my alarms. 9 to 5 work, we got emails, social media come up, software things. Right after work, 5 to 9, I want to prioritize social time with my friends and family, so I just have things that would make me communicate with them. And yeah, this is when I have my social media for fun. And then come my nighttime routine, it's boring. It's the most boring of apps. Weather, clock, alarm. So there's nothing for me to scroll. And did this stop me people pleasing? No. But it definitely put a hard stop at 5 p.m. and it was no more emails over committing and spreading myself too thin. And also when there was no social media to easily click on and I actually had to go search for it, I just stopped doom scrolling at night. Tactic 4 for quitting a bad habit, habit swap it. Which I did, of course, with the soda water and Diet Pop. And upon reflection, a lot of these habits stem from old coping mechanisms or distraction from lack of stimulation, energy, or craving dopamine. It would have been a lot easier to swap them with healthier habits that provided me what I actually craved, like meditation. But hindsight is 20/20.
If you want to build a good habit, roughly speaking, there are 4 things that you can do. You want to make it obvious, you want to make it attractive, you want to make it easy, and you want to make it satisfying.
Now I'm gonna sound crazy, but hear me out. I was in the checkout aisle at ICA, their grocery store, and there was this girl. She had this really cute outfit on. She had this really nice purse, and she just grabbed one Red Bull, and that's all she grabbed. I just saw her holding this Red Bull. It was like the red one, and it just matched her outfit. I was like, you are such a vibe. I wish I was one of those girls who would just grab a Red Bull and go about my day and look, it'd be like a part of my outfit. And I was like, why is that so different? Why when she does it, it just looks like this cute little thing and it's part of her accessory and it's just her little treat for the day. And of course I'm projecting, like I don't know what's in her mind. But I was like, wow, goals, I wish I was you. And it's like this dirty little secret that like I don't want anyone to know I'm drinking them. And every time I go and get one, I'm like, ugh. I'm like, why do I think like that? Why do I have to make it this gross habit that I'm hiding from everyone? I decided I'm gonna reframe it. And I wanna be chic. This is my little vice of the day. And I'm wondering if I can kind of just change this mindset. It's this little treat I look forward to, and it's kind of my moment, and just kind of make it a thing. I maybe won't abuse it. I know it sounds crazy. And this is where I started to reframe. And I just had this aha moment with the last 2 weeks of my version of 75 Hard. The reason I wanted to get rid of so many of these things was I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed that like whenever I was with my friends, and every 5 minutes I put in a new piece of gum. And if I was on vacation, I would make sure to have several Monsters in the fridge, and always order a Diet Pop. And there's nothing worse than knowing at the end of the night when all my girlfriends were having that moment, getting ready together, all I wanted to do was pop a pimple and not be in the moment. And I was embarrassed. I am embarrassed by these habits. Like I feel it is weird, it's gross, it's not who I want to be, and it makes me want to hide. It makes me not think I can be social as an extrovert. It makes me feel like I have to hide away, which makes me lose energy, which makes me self-sabotage, which makes me, it's a vicious cycle. And then I had this little light bulb moment. I no longer view these as gross. I no longer view these as these negative, dirty, gross habits. These were coping mechanisms before I had money, before I was educated, when I was young, before I was mature, and I had nothing else when I was in some dark times in my life. Now, my life's not perfect now, by far, but it was definitely a lot shittier in my teens and early 20s. And I just needed to survive. And these got me through. When I had no energy, I could turn to an energy drink. When I was feeling anxious, I would crack open a Diet Pop. When I was just needed to change something, when I was in an uncomfortable situation, I'd grab a piece of gum. When I needed to hide away from the world, I would go and pop pimples. And they're not great, and they didn't help my life, but they let me survive. And I forget sometimes you just need to survive. And I look back at my former self, and had she not done those things, who knows where I'd be today. And I'm not saying they're good, I'm not saying you should pick them up, but this light switch happened like a couple weeks ago, and it just made me want to appreciate these things. And so I started to reframe, and ironically, things started to change. I went a couple days without an energy drink. I no longer whipped through packs. I would buy myself several packs of gum to have throughout the day, and I wouldn't have to go to the store to get more. I wouldn't even finish them. I woke up in the morning, I was like, oh, you didn't finish all your packs of gum, you normally do. And suddenly I started prioritizing sleep. Because I prioritized sleep, I prioritized recovering. Because I prioritized recovery, I stopped people pleasing. And when I started doing that, I let room for creativity. And then for my final habit, views. I was recently listening to Colin and Samir interview Emma Chamberlain, and Emma Chamberlain mentioned YouTube is an addiction. Oh my God, it is. It's like validation for your creativity. And when you start doing that, you start changing your creativity for people. But art, according to people like Rick Rubin.
Do you have a process for removing the functions of the day and what you were doing last week? And
you make art and then you send it out to the world and it becomes the world, and whatever they want to make for it, you have to separate yourself from. And it's a weird thing with like YouTube being art and a creative thing, but with analytics and very analytical, but art isn't analytical. And I want to be successful because I'm hardworking, so I make everything analytical and numbers and views and challenges and more extreme. But at the same time, I got into it because of art, and art is the complete opposite. And it's this like mental game that I play with myself of like artist, analytical, creative, content creator. Which is it? And I don't know, when I overwhelm myself in one area and then I feel hollow in the other area. But if I just go that complete other area, I don't have a job. And so for the last few weeks of this challenge, you'll probably notice there was a little change up. I got a little bit more personal with you guys. Of course, I had a year wrap up like this, and I started doing stuff that filled my creativity, knowing the risk that people are going to say, oh, she fell off. Oh, she's not getting as much views. Oh, she's not working as hard. And it's like, no, I'm just doing why I do this. I'm not doing it because of the views necessarily. I want to make content I love that passions me and excites you guys. And it's a push and pull, and I will not always get it right. And that was my final hurdle. A year later, I stand here with I chew a lot less gum. I have a diet pop occasionally when I feel like it. I've stopped doom scrolling. I no longer grab my phone. I don't go on social media after 5 o'clock. I chew gum like a normal person. I have it, but I'm not like, this is evil. I just have a couple pieces throughout the day. I've started being more mindful of the candy I choose and the food I choose and just be like, ooh, is this a luxury? Who's this harming? Where is this coming from? Just with my everyday purchases as well. I'm not perfect, but just with those mindless things I do throughout the day, I just pause and be like, where'd this chocolate come from? I did a lot of elimination. And kind of near the end, I started to realize if everything you eliminate, you have to add. And it's this push and pull. Before I was like adding while I had these dirty habits. And then I was just getting rid of these dirty habits and leaving holes. And I think moving into 2024, I really have to do, when I take away a negative coping mechanism, I have to really make sure I put in a positive one. And that's what my ideal self would do. She has these positive ways to rejuvenate and when she's feeling overwhelmed and handle them and things I actually want to do, not just saying I'll journal and then I never journal. The main lesson I learned over the last year was to romanticize your daily moments. I know we've all heard that 1,000 times on TikTok, but it really sunk in with my daily habits. Either you can find beauty in your messiness, or you can fill your cup up so much that you don't need to self-sabotage as much. And as I wrap up part 1 of my Wellness Diary series finale, the word romanticize my daily routine is a big theme I'm carrying over into my 2024 new series. To wrap up, the bad habits I was able to break and reframe, and the 3 tips that helped with that were: number 1, reduce exposure. Find the trigger that causes the bad habit and make it invisible. For me, no diet pop in the house or office. Number 2, reframe my mindset. Highlight the benefits of avoiding your habit and make it unattractive. I discovered this by always having low dim lights in my apartment at nighttime, which made me not able to even see my pimples. Tip 3, increase friction. Increase the number of steps between you and your bad habit. This worked the best for gum. I only bought gum that I had to unwrap, so it was impossible to shove a ton of pieces in my mouth at once. And I'm not talking addiction. These are not severe. These are just bad habits. Addiction is something that runs in my family. So I'm always kind of like, am I addicted? Just acknowledge the space you're in. Acknowledge these habits and how they really make you feel. Are they adding to your life or are they taking away? Figure out where in your day you're triggered by them. What is the reason? Is it anxiety? Is it a certain place? Is it a feeling? Is it a person? What triggers that habit? And then think of your ideal version. Think of your perfect self, the person you idolize to be. What kind of habits would they have? And see if there's a way you can take any of those negative habits and just put in a good one. I got 2 more series to wrap up my year for you guys, and then I'm starting my 2024 series. Last year was about attacking some demons, which freed up some space to allow some good things to come in. Let's crush 2024 together. Have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye. I just wanted to see if I could run every day for 30 days. 30 days became 100 days. Day 400 to stop my run streak. Leading up to my half marathon.
Let's go!